Happy Good Friday Eve! You know, now as I've said that, I'm probably gonna end up stuffing up the date again. Hello again team, it's Jess or JashiiCorrin and welcome back for another video. Today, as it's Thursday, we will be doing a weekly plan with me. But just like last week, because I'm doing this kind of daily build-as-you-go style, we're going to be setting up a weekly in my new R&D bujo. So, over to that one. So this is the spread that I had for last week. As you can see, it isn't used because this isn't my everyday bullet journal. Not a lot to say about it, given the fact that I didn't use it. I like the layout, I might use something similar one day. Probably not with the habit tracker though, because I have a monthly habit tracker. Anyway. So the thing with the LT 1917 is that the paper is thin. Well, at least it's thinner than the Archer and Olive by a long shot. Which means you get a lot of ghosting here, and I'm not really down for that, so I'm going to turn the page again. And you might be able to see that I have put some quick pencil sketches in here. Last week it was requested that I do some one-page weeklies that have a running task list. So that's what I'm going to be setting up today. As per usual, any of the equipment I use is linked in the description box below, but let's jump into it. The one-page weekly that I'm drawing out here is similar to a style that I like to use quite a lot. It's based on having two columns, the first one, or the one on the left-hand side, for my events, so there's a section for each day of the week, whereas the section on the right is a long-running to-do list. Typically I wouldn't draw each day as an individual box, but in the interest of drawing weeklies that you guys wouldn't typically see from me, I drew them as individual boxes today. I've been considering putting a video out sometime soon with a bunch of different one-page weeklies. If this is something you guys would be interested in, please do let me know. And of course, as always, if there is anything else you want to see from me, I'd love to hear about that as well. And before anybody reads me for it, yes, I am very aware that the washi tape here does not suit the layout. Sadly, I couldn't find any that would actually have been in the right colour. There we go, so we have a box for each day of the week and a long-running to-do list. The washi tape doesn't necessarily match as well as it could, but you guys get the general idea. Now, you'll probably notice that the boxes for each day of the week are a little bit small. They're only 4 boxes tall. What you could do would be, instead of having them each as separate individual boxes, you could make this come one row higher and then have 5 rows for each box. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it would be up to 5, 4 up to 5, 4 up to 5, etc. If that's still not sufficient space though, you can, instead of having a 2-column layout, have a 3-column layout. And that's what I'm going to put over here. For the 2 weeklies that I've drawn out today, the first one on the left-hand side took about 10 minutes from first touch of the pen to final touch, whereas the one on the right, or the second one, took about 12 minutes. Obviously what I've done here is relatively basic. There's not a lot of decoration other than the little flags and the washi tape. But of course, if you had a bit of extra time, you could make this a little more decorative. In this 3-column layout, and in the LT 1917, each of these are 8 boxes across. So the first column is 8 boxes, and then it has a 1-box gap. Then the second column is 8 boxes with another 1-box gap, and then finally another 8 boxes. For my size handwriting, I find 8 boxes across to be sufficient in terms of space, but if your handwriting is a little bit wider, you might want to opt in for the layout on the left instead, which has a little bit more horizontal space. There we go, so you can see on this one we do have a little bit more vertical space for each day of the week, though we have less horizontal space, because obviously we're fitting in 3 columns now, not just 2. I also shortened the to-do list to make room for a little mini calendar, but instead of that you could put in something like a habit tracker, or a little steps tracker, or something like that. As I mentioned in the last video, if there's anything you guys want to see in terms of weeklies, especially the ones that I don't typically do for one reason or another, please do let me know in the comments section. Or if you had a weekly you wanted me to recreate, please do send me the link. Of these 2 weeklies, I'd probably be more inclined to use this one, and it would probably be during the holidays. This is the style of one-page weekly I personally gravitate towards. Jumping back into my regular planner though. So, although I wrote these things down to do yesterday, honestly, they got kind of pushed to the side because a couple of other things came up. For instance, the moderation of the Year 11 test, and then also doing a bunch of stuff for the Year 8 science unit, and a couple of other bits and pieces. Setting up today though, which is Thursday, not Friday. There we go, that will do for today. I know there's going to be other things I do, but I'll add to the list as I work through. Flipping back. Cool. So, Bujo Wednesday didn't happen last night, sadly. But I can go fill in the other things that happened. So just a note about how my day got a little bit side-railed with the moderation work I had to do, and also that the song of yesterday was Drunk on a Plane. I love that song, it's ridiculous. Flipping over. So, mood. Yesterday I was in a fairly good mood, despite doing a bunch of work, so... And yesterday I was grateful for FaceTime, but I don't know what the icon for FaceTime looks like. Because I had a FaceTime call with Mum. Flip it over. Productivity. Now I think I was quite productive yesterday. So a whole lot of schoolwork. Habits and steps. Now, steps yesterday was essentially abysmal. I think I only got like 1,700-ish. I really think my mini goal of today should be to drink some damn water so I can fill in my tracker, and also because it's good for me. Here we go. If you guys have any more tidbits you want to see, please do let me know. I've got a lot of space to fill here. Nothing to check off here, I believe, because I think I already did it. Yep. And meal logging. And then it's just on to my PowerSheets, I guess. Well, something exciting I get to do today is check off that yesterday, when I had some time in the evening because we didn't have Bujo Wednesday, I decluttered my Year 12 Chem folder, so that one is all done. In terms of other things on my monthly action items, nothing really to check off yet, but for the weekly ones, I did FaceTime with Mum, so that counts. Morning work certainly happened yesterday, although it did continue into the afternoon and evening, but it still counts. Active leisure time didn't really happen because although I did have my FaceTime with Mum, that's not like leisure. That's not to say that it's not enjoyable talking to my mum, it's just not active leisure time. And no spend did happen. What I thought I'd do now would be get into my teacher planner and just set up for the first week of school. By set up I really just mean put in my classes into their period slots, not actually write down any of the learning that's going to be done. but because I want to be working on my learning sequences or like topic plans later today, it would be good to have that set up. Now, this boy is big. There's probably no way I'm going to be able to get the entire thing in shot properly, so I do apologize for that. You can see I've already grayed out the first 2 days because we start back on the Wednesday. So what I'm going to do now is just go and fill in all of these with the colours I need for each of my classes. It's a really awkward angle to do that on. There we go. That looks better. There we go. So not a lot written in at the moment, but I will start filling this up before the week is over. As I've mentioned a couple of times, the school holidays for New Zealand got brought forward by 2 weeks. So this was previously going to be the first week of my holiday, which is why I've now got a sticker here because it used to say holidays. And the week prior to this used to be my last week of school, which means that I'm still kind of in the process of trying to... I don't even know, I'm not even trying to tidy it up. I was just trying to get rid of the coloured blocks because this was now my holiday. You can see I did it for last week with, I don't know, some success. It's not very pretty, but it's done. So there's that. And I got part of the way through here and then didn't actually finish it. Maybe that's a job for later today. Anywho. Thank you for watching, team. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!